Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Nevada County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Hack, who will be speaking more on the search and rescue efforts surrounding the search for Kiely.
Thank you. Sergeant Dennis Hack, Search and Rescue Coordinator for the Nevada County Sheriff's Office. I want to let you know at this time we have over 16 agencies involved in our search effort. In the field right now we have over 100 volunteers. Those volunteers are searching on foot. We're using canines. We're using vehicles including motorcycles, UTVs, Jeeps, and such. We're using air assets to assist in the search, and we're also searching on the water using boats. As of this meeting right now, we've logged over 1,500 man-hours in our effort. We received information on Saturday of the initiation of the missing persons report. We moved into a unified command with Placer County and started conducting a search and rescue operation in Nevada County. Throughout Saturday and Sunday, the incident was handled by Placer County and Nevada County. As the event expanded, we reached out to partners at the state level and also federally to assist us in the search. Search and rescue operates off of the information that we have available to us. The way that we develop that information and design our search areas and our objectives is based off of the clues that we receive from the field while we're searching. And the second way that we receive our information is through the development of the investigation. What we need is the community's help in assisting with providing that information on the investigation. And what I would encourage you to do is, if you have that information, we need the information from the community. We need you to take advantage of that tip line and provide us with additional information. Thank you.
Next, you'll be hearing from Nevada County Sergeant Hack. He's been in charge of the search and rescue effort.
I want to thank everybody for being here today. So far in our search and rescue effort, we have over 16 agencies that have worked with us. We have in the field today, again, over 100 volunteers searching. We are utilizing resources from the local, state, and federal level to help us with the search. Equipment-wise, we are searching with motorcycles, 4x4s. We are using aircraft from CHP, from Washoe County, from Placer County, and from the Office of Emergency Services. Since I talked to you yesterday, we have doubled the amount of man hours. Yesterday we were at 1,500 hours, and we are now at about 3,500 hours dedicated by volunteers in the search effort. We have partners from throughout the state who are cooperating with us remotely to assist with our mapping and our search and rescue effort. Our search area has extended as far north as Searville. To the east, we've reached all the way to Verdi. We've gone south of I-80, below Truckee, and we've reached beyond Jackson Meadows Reservoir to the west. It's a very large area, and our searchers have been putting a lot of hours in, and they're dedicated to assisting us in this search effort. That's all I have for you now. Thank you.
Hi, mine's just a clarifying question. I was at the trailer earlier today, and I did see the search area map, and it did say to stay out of this area. So I'm just wanting to clarify based on what was on the map today, and is that going to be enforced tomorrow, just for people who just want to help?
So initially we had communicated with the private search folks to some areas that we were determining were high likelihood for evidence. And our search and rescue volunteers go through extensive training on recognizing clues, protecting evidence, so that a small footprint or something that can be the single thing that turns the tide in a search. So we initially were asking for some particular areas for private searchers to stay out of. We have since rescinded that, and the only place that we are based out of and that we're asking folks to stay out of is our ICP.
And for those... Okay. Incident command post, for anybody who didn't hear.
In search and rescue, we have numerous resources in relation to canine, and they all have a different typing. So we use different types of dogs for different situations. And thus far in our investigation, we've been using what are called area C2 dogs. And those are dogs that search an area for a person. And those are the type of dogs we have. We haven't been able to establish a trail to put a bloodhound on at this point.
Mine's just a clarifying question. I was at the trailer earlier today, and I did see the search area map, and it did say to stay out of this area. So I'm just wanting to clarify based on what was on the map today, and is that going to be enforced tomorrow, just for people who just want to help?
So initially we had communicated with the private search folks to some areas that we were determining were high likelihood for evidence. And our search and rescue volunteers go through extensive training on recognizing clues, protecting evidence, so that a small footprint or something that can be the single thing that turns the tide in a search. So we initially were asking for some particular areas for private searchers to stay out of. We have since rescinded that. And the only place that we are based out of and that we're asking folks to stay out of is our ICP. Okay. So on the app, all the data that's been collected from the time that the app was initiated, we're also collecting historical information for persons who had tracked themselves in previous days. That information is all available on that map. The greatest recommendation I would make is if you look at that map, you can see where people have not been. You have to look at yourself. You have to look at the situation. We have had incidents in the past where people have gotten themselves into areas and become hurt, and we've had to take searchers away from our search effort to go rescue them. So we want you to really look at those things and be honest with yourself if that's an area that you should be. But by looking at that map, you can see what areas need to still be checked. So we're not going to rule out any scenario. We're looking for tiny items. We are looking for Kiely, and we are looking for a vehicle.
My name is Joey Sweet. I know some of these guys. I know the police chief. I'm a long-time local. My family's been in this area over 150 years. Yesterday, I talked to Nevada County Search and Rescue. They treated me like crap. I also talked to one of your deputies. There was a female that was over there. And what I was trying to say to them, as somebody that was local here, I used to know Ron Perea, one of their chief detectives here. And I heard through the background that there was a sighting reported to you on Tuesday out of 60th. And I had not heard any more on this. And the sighting goes, it was a truck and a silver Honda, which leads me to the conclusion, by talking to locals in town here, that I'm hearing from some of my friends in town, kids were at the party, there were a lot of Nevada plates. The obvious conclusion is me. Whoever these people are, they know the back roads really well. From what I understand, we're in about day 7, you haven't found the car. I talked to Detective Perry here, and in the old days, Ron Perea, we go back to Kiely Dugard, the Knorr case, I'm sure you're familiar with, and Paulie Class. Nevada County guys would talk to the old timers like me, because we knew the back roads, and as a matter of fact, I'll let you know, we used to party out here too. So one of the questions they always ask is where, if you were going to get rid of a car. And I talked to Perry and I mentioned, I thought if you're going deep water, there's only 2 reservoirs, and that is Jackson Meadows and Bowman. And I'm just kind of curious. I know you had a government Air Force plane flying over, from what I'm hearing, that it was looking for ground imaging and apparently didn't find anything. But what I'm hearing now is you guys are doing side scanning sonar. And I'm just kind of curious if you can answer me a question. Has Jackson Meadows or Borman been swept looking for a car?
I'm going to let Nevada County Lieutenant Perry answer that question. Thank you.
Sort of like you and I talked extensively before the meeting. Search and Rescue has searched a lot of areas right now, and they're following up on all the tips that come in, which may dictate a change in that search area. And like I think we talked about earlier about some other information to talk to the lieutenant about after the meeting. But at this point, to my knowledge, we have searched a portion of the Jackson Meadows area, but I'm not aware of anything that would have led us to Bowman.
So, no sonar has been used on Jackson. Is that what I'm hearing? Nobody's looked in there?
I'm not aware of a sonar search of Jackson Meadows.
Thank you. I recently saw on the missing persons page that there was a couple from Yuba City that have gone missing.
Question regarding the Yuba City couple.
To Yuba City, so at least within an hour of us. In addition to the same time frame, a gentleman who bought a train ticket for a 4:30 train this past week and never came back to get his luggage. I know that tip has been reported. Do you see any sort of connection? Because that's 4 people in 1 week that have disappeared in the same area. Do you know anything about that? Is there anything more about the man who left his luggage and never showed up? There are train people?
Your question about whether or not our case here locally in Truckee is related to other missing person cases, I can speak directly to the case that involves Nevada County and the Yuba City Police Department on the couple that was reported missing. We have a portion of our detective unit working on that case currently, and as of right now, there's no connection there.
No connection.
I'm curious about if there's any information on the car behind the pond at Caltrans. There was a car that was found in Caltrans, and I don't know if they pulled it. You reported it, and I haven't heard anything back on it.
I don't know that we're aware of such a call. Where was this reported? What pond?
Pond over near Coldstream, where Kiely lived. There was I guess it was through a friend that works at Caltrans. We heard that there was a car in the pond, and I didn't know if you guys recovered it or anything. I reported it yesterday.
I recall some information about that, but there's also a lot of information coming out that we're vetting and we're going through and trying to see the validity in it. And I believe that tip was looked into, and I don't recall anything coming of it.
Is there a liaison person between the professional search and rescue team and the however many civilians you have out there?
Yes.
So and how can I access that and get some questions answered in some direction?
That would be Sergeant Hack. He's not here tonight, but we'll have Lieutenant Perry speak on his behalf.
We have been having a search and rescue representative over here in the parking lot at the family's kind of incident command location. They've been assisting with the process for citizens to upload the SARTOPO app so that they can also track where they're going and where they've lived and things like that. Okay. So you should be able to find this.
Okay. Okay.
So we've been searching, and this is by no means any sort of criticism whatsoever, but when you go and you talk to search and rescue and you have 3 hours to get on foot, the responses go anywhere. Anywhere. And it would be, and I don't know if you can divulge, I mean, it would be helpful to be like pointed in a direction or just look at the app. Well, we can do that, but at this point in the investigation, is it wide open? Are you guys thinking Kiely could be anywhere? Because, you know, if we're gonna go, because there's so much terrain out there, and it's a little depressing when you're out there and seeing how much terrain, but we are out there on foot doing it. So if we, a little bit more guidance would be helpful to us that show up and spend our afternoon or morning hiking the area.
So what I'm gathering from the question is, can we provide you direction on where to go?
That would
correct?
be the most helpful for you guys, or that would be the most efficient use of our time,
What I
rather
can
than
tell-
go anywhere, because that's what they say.
Yeah. We're dealing with the search and rescue effort, okay, and so we're in a position that we're trying to manage where our professional searchers are going and all that goes with that. We can't give you direction on where to search, but that is why we stood up the SAR-TOPO map and why you can view where everybody else has been, and you can always make the determination, I want to go somewhere nobody's been, or I want to go somewhere someone has been, because whether someone's been on a road once or 5 times, more eyes are always better, right? So the sun could be at a different spot, it could be at a different point on a trail or a road and have a different vantage point. So just like with our professional searchers, if you look at where we've searched, many of the areas have been gone over countless times by different methods, whether that's on foot or a motorcycle or a UTV or flown over by aircraft. So as far as us giving you a specific location, we wouldn't do that, but I would just ask that you look at the map and just make your best choice on where you want to go. And don't be discouraged from going somewhere where someone else has already been to.
As far as the high schoolers that won't come forward for tips, I know this sounds really weird, but what about getting them like a gift card for pictures or photos or videos?
Smaller monetary amount.
I mean, I don't.
$1,000.
That would be considered bribing.
That's okay.
Is that illegal?
What if we bribed them?
Like, what if I civilian?
Can the community do it?
We can't stop what the civilians are going to do.
Good answer.
The most important thing is, as parents and as community members, that we support these young people in coming forward with information that can be absolutely crucial. It's disheartening to hear that parents or adults are discouraging their children from coming forward. From the onset of this investigation, we've been very clear about the fact that we are not interested in the drug use or the alcohol at the party that night. We're solely interested in getting statements, video, pictures, that type of thing that can help us piece this together and bring us to more investigative steps to assist the detectives in investigating this and trying to locate Kiely.
The search effort to find them, will that be taking resources away from this search effort?
I'm going to let Lieutenant Perry from the Nevada County Sheriff's Office answer that.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Perry. I'm the Investigations Lieutenant for Nevada County Sheriff's Office. We did have to pull one detective today for that investigation, as well as some of our investigative efforts down the hill to look into that, and we're currently working hand in hand with the Yuba City Police Department on that investigation.
Enjoy